Welcome back to Classic Vinyl Top 10, and today we are in Cape Town. So today we're going to be doing the top 50 best British bands of all time, in my opinion, and by British here I really mean British Isles. Let me know what I've missed out and why. This is obviously coming from a Brit's point of view, and looking at this list, there's definitely a lot here that is not quite what most people think are the best, but you know, it's my opinion. One thing I would say is I've really marked it down if it's a band I love but they perhaps only had one album that was brilliant. So there's quite a few sort of one album bands that I really think are fantastic. But would you say they're one of the best British bands of all time? So anyway, I take that into account. Anyway, let's get going. So from Cape Town, here we go. At number 50, my number 50 is T-Rex. This might be, again, controversially low in some people's opinion. T-Rex certainly left a legacy and certainly had an impact at the time. I still remember the sequins as a young kid, watching Bolan on his own programme, as well as Top of the Pops, etc. Number 49, I've gone for UB40. I think, again, a great first album, certainly, but thereafter they became far more commercial, and it's the stuff that touches on more conventional reggae that I love. Number 48, Human League. Okay, yeah, Dare was a one-off album, and they certainly had a lot of commercial success around that time, and I think they connected with a lot of British kids as a band, but they sort of went from punky new wave into the mainstream, and that's where they got most of their success. Number 47, Welsh band Stereophonics. Definitely more than a one album band. I think they've constantly produced some good songwriting, so they deserve a place here. Number 46, Japan. I've always found them interesting. Not always easy to listen to, but they've had some stellar stuff, and I think Sylvian is an amazing singer, and the whole idea of Japanese music and Japanese instruments, I always found well worth delving into. Number 45, The Specials. They had an impact in Britain. Ghost Town I particularly remember as having an impact when Britain was going through a period of riots and very depressing era, and they had a fantastic video, which if you're not British and you haven't seen it, do look it up on YouTube. Number 44, okay, the media really have a go at this band, mainly because they're fronted by Geldof, who himself became a media personality, both in personal life and the amazing work he did with Live Aid. So Boomtown Rats in at 44. They had a great number of, a great handful of singles that weren't just pop. They had a slight edge to them, but anyway. 43, Oasis. I think they had to be on here. Some people would put them a lot higher, some people would exclude them, I know that. But again, we've had a couple of albums worth from them, so they deserve to be here. 42, Level 42. 42, Level 42. I think a highly underrated band. I wasn't particularly into them as a funk band. I preferred it when they became more commercial, but they could play, and yeah, deserve to be here. 41, Depeche Mode. And Depeche Mode started off as little kids with a terrible drum machine on Top of the Pops, as I remember, and they've evolved along the way into a much more mature and serious songwriting band with a much better drum programming. So yeah, they deserve to be here. Number 40, Sade. Some people say, is that a band or is it an individual? Well, to me, it's the band that I love, and she's a great vocalist. But Sade are on here. 39, Bad Company are here. Certainly one great album, Straight Shooter. But it was a bit of a super group, wasn't it? Yeah, I like the drummer, Simon Kirke. I like Rogers, lead singer, and I think it was Ralphs, was it? Mick Ralphs on guitar. 38, The Cult. They definitely had a place in my heart, and still playing live now, and still worth it to go and see. 37, Killing Joke. They were like the darker, grimmer side of what was coming out post-punk, and yeah, still one of my favourite bands. 36, some people might say it's a one album band. I think they were more than that. Hot House Flowers, Irish band, great first album, People. 35, Star Sailor, really only one album, but a brilliant album, so I've marked them down for that. 34, some people will send abuse for this one, but I've put Queen in at 34, mainly because I hated all their later really poppy stuff, Radio Gaga and all that. I can't stand it. But the early stuff, yeah, give me the first album, and then Queen, and then Night at the Opera was brilliant. Sheer Heart Attack I thought was great, but anyway, it's the earlier stuff I liked. 33, The Smiths. Again, they've left quite a legacy, and were unique at the time, and never saw them live, but the combination of Mar's guitar work with Morris's lyrics, people still talk about the 10-ton truck, don't they? 32, Supertramp. Yeah, it might be a bit high on retrospect, but there you go, Supertramp at 32. The wonderful Logical Song is probably my favourite. 31, Susie and the Banshees. Came out of the punk thing, but really were much more sophisticated than that. And they were rare in a band having two amazing drummers. So, love Susie. 30, Deep Purple. Had to have them on here really because they had such a big impact on rock in the 70s, and they were one of the big three, I think, in Britain at the time. And various personnel changes that all worked well. Great drummer, Ian Pace. 29, Elbow. Elbow, definitely more than a one album band. I've liked, I should think, three of the albums quite a lot, and they've always been good live, good value, great lyrics. 28, might be a bit low, but the Kinks, huge legacy, big influence on a lot of bands, both British and American. They certainly deserve to be here. 27, the Blue Nile, not so well known, a Scottish band, but produced how many? 3 albums that I really liked. 3 without any sort of really big hits. But 26, London Grammar. Again, at first I thought they were a bit lightweight, but they've done 3, possibly 4 albums that are well worth a listen. Some genius stuff on there, fantastic vocals. 25. So onto the big guys now. We're in the 25. Roxy Music have to be in there. Maybe a little low actually. 24. Slade. Again, part of my young life. Top of the pops. They were always the ones. 23. Again, this is a bit of a cheat. Fleetwood Mac. They're sort of half British. So I put them on here, but you could argue they are a one-album band. Some people would say no, it's more than one, but rumours, they still live off rumours, don't they? 22, The Sweet, probably controversial, but again from that sort of 70s era, where they're on top of the pops every week and knocking out the Chin and Chapman hits. I thought they were great, and excellent drummer in Mick Tucker as well. 21. Again, this is probably controversial. I've got the Stones, Rolling Stones, in at 21. Their legacy is built over a long period of time, but there's not one album in theirs that I think, wow, that's the one. So for me, the Stones, 21. 20, Arctic Monkeys. They're more than a one album band, and they've already shown that they can deliver over diverse genres, I think. Number 19, this is going to hurt a lot of the oldies, I'm afraid. Pink Floyd. I've put Floyd in at 19, and I was struggling really with the position for them. They can't not be here, but they're certainly not in my top 10 or top 5 or anything. I know they're in a lot of people's top 5s, but not mine. 18, Sabbath, Black Sabbath. Again here because of the legacy. I thought the first album was great, and they've definitely had some excellent tracks over a number of albums since. I'm not so keen on Ozzy's career trajectory, but Sabbath, yeah, they've got to be here. 17, probably controversial because some people think they are just a one album band, and I can understand why they think that, because the debut album was so good, but it's the Chameleons at 17. 16, The Fall always brings a smile to my face, but they have over a long period of time produced some quality stuff, some of it funny, some of it you either like The Fall or you don't. I like The Fall. 15, Thin Lizzy, Irish band, just great at what they did, I think, just great at what they did. Lynott went far too soon, didn't he? 14, The Stranglers, again based on more than one album. Rattus is my favourite, but the other albums keep them here on this list, I think. 13, The Cure. What do you say about The Cure? Their Evolution, Robert Smith's Evolution, well worth being on here. Number 12, Tears for Fears. I still think underrated. I think their production is always excellent. I think their musicianship is always excellent. Not so keen on the lyrics, but there you go. So I think they're well deserving of number 12. Number 11, controversial again. I've put the Pistols here. Why? They certainly are only a one album band, but they're really a 3 single or 4 single band. But it's the impact. Perhaps you had to be here, I don't know. But they're just outside my 10. Number 10, The Au Pairs, the best indie band by far in my opinion. Just a great unit, fantastic lyrics, way ahead of their time, brilliant rhythms. Yeah, number 10, The Au Pairs. Number 9, The Clash. They're just more of a band than the Pistols were ever going to be. And so they're here. Number 8, The Jam. Again, controversially ahead of Pistols and The Clash, but they are here at number 8. And I put them here also because I think Sobrewella's ballads were just as good as some of the angry British young man stuff of the early days. Number 7, U2. I think obviously Off the Boil over more recent years, but from Boy onwards, they set up a fantastic legacy. So they certainly deserve to be here. Number 6, controversially, The Waterboys. Over a number of albums they've done the stuff, I think, and included some very Celtish stuff, some poppy stuff, some folky stuff. Yeah, fantastic. Number 5, The Police. I had to have The Police here. The combination of the threesome producing some beautiful pop with some amazing drumming and guitar work and Sting's vocals, so they're here. Number 4, this is a band that really has crept up on me over the years, and because of their change, their journey, their evolution from synth pop to melancholy brilliance. Talk here. So talk at number 4, which brings us to my big 3. Number 3, Radiohead. I don't think you can beat it for creativity, certainly today. Number 2, the biggest rock band I think we'll ever see, Led Zeppelin. And number 1, who could it possibly be? It's got to be the Beatles. Their journey, the songwriting brilliance. I don't know what else to say. Everybody said so much about them. So anyway, I hope you enjoyed that list, or is of interest. If you like this sort of dirge, kindly subscribe. Send me a comment below, because I'm sure you'll say I've missed a few people, and there were quite a few bands hanging out on the outside that I thought about. Big Country, Cockney Rebel, ABC, those sort of bands. Anyway, I'll leave you with that. Cheers, see you again next time. We're still going to be in Africa, but I might do a new video. Okay, thanks, bye.